With the release of Floor 2, aka the mines in Roblox stores, we were introduced to a bunch of relatives of everybody's favorite annoying little entity, Screech. In fact, we received a lot of information about these relatives, so much that we can actually make a family tree listing out every member and how they are connected to Screech. So, in this video, I'll be going over the entire Screech family tree in Roblox stores, and by the end of it, you'll know how multiple entities are connected to each other. Just a little side note, but after finishing this video, make sure to check out this other lore video I created to gain an even more in-depth explanation of what this family tree means for the future of the game. Anyways, with all of that being said, let's begin. Alrighty, so despite this being a Screech family tree, Screech themselves doesn't actually come first. Our tree starts with the Grumbles. Grumbles are fully grown-up versions of Screech, and they're absolutely massive. In Floor 2, we actually have to face off against them in Room 150 in order to progress through the game. In total, there are two types of Grumbles, those being normal ones and Queens. Queen Grumbles are almost identical to normal Grumbles, however they have a massive scar or royal marking on their head to signify that they are in fact a queen. We know this as these types of Grumbles are specifically labeled as Queen Grumbles in the game's files. Anyways, just like with most queen animals in the animal kingdom, one of their jobs is to ensure the survival of the species by having children, and that is exactly what the Queen Grumble does. Now, seeing how there is no evidence of a King Grumble, it is implied that the Grumble species functions similarly to bees, where the queen mates with normal members of the species instead of a select individual. So, in our family tree, the Queen Grumble will mate with a normal Grumble in order to produce an offspring, that being a Giggle. Giggles are simply baby Grumbles, and later in life they will mature into Grumbles. We know this as Guiding Light confirms it in one of their messages if you die to a Grumble. Giggles aren't nearly as big or as strong as Grumbles, however they can still pack quite a punch, as they attack players by latching onto and biting their face. And they can be encountered mostly anywhere throughout the mines. However, something very interesting about Giggles is that they can actually transform into Screeches. You see, one of the main antagonists of Doors is Seek, who in their true form is a giant sentient blob of this dark black goop, which is able to consume anything it touches. If a Giggle comes into contact with this black goop, they will turn into a Screech, who almost functions as a zombie Giggle. Seek essentially takes control of the Giggle, becoming almost like a parasite to the entity. Given the nature of how this black goop works, it is implied that Screeches are able to infect other Giggles, turning them into Screeches too. And this is why players can find so many piles of dead Screeches in the nest, which is the home of the Grumbles. Screeches pose a significant threat to the Grumble species, so they are to be killed on sight in order to reduce the amount of infected Giggles. However, although we know that Giggles can commonly be infected by Seek given the amount that are dead in the nest, what if Seek managed to infect a Grumble? Well, currently, there's only one recorded case of this ever happening, and that is at the end of Floor 2. You see, after the player escapes the mines, they make it to the entrance of a castle, only for a Grumble to appear behind them. However, before this Grumble can attack you, Seek stops them in their tracks, infecting them in the process. Now, if you look at this Grumble, you'll notice something very distinct about their appearance, that being that they have the royal mark on their head, meaning they are a queen. Now, although this is insanely detrimental to the Grumble species, as they have just lost their queen, which is vital to the species' survival, what's more interesting is that given how Giggles can turn into Screeches when they are infected, and Grumbles are just fully matured Giggles, this infected queen may return in Floor 3 as a giant version of Screech. However, unfortunately, there's no footage currently of what this giant Screech looks like, besides what we have seen in the Floor 2 ending cutscene, which just shows the Queen Grumble covered in the black goop. So, to summarize the whole family tree, Queen Grumbles and normal Grumbles mate to produce Giggles. These Giggles can then mature into Grumbles or be infected by Seek to become Screeches. Additionally, although unlikely to occur, Grumbles can also be infected by Seek, such as seen in the Floor 2 ending cutscene, in order to become massive Screeches, but we don't know what these entities look like. Anyways, that was the entire Screech family tree in Roblox stores. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions about this topic, and with all of that being said, thank you all for watching and I hope you enjoyed.